Hi, this is Mike Fleming. I am the president of Sales Tax and More. And one of the most frequently asked questions we get is when or where should I get registered for sales tax? And, there are really four main things you need to look at when deciding if you need to register somewhere. So the first is whether or not you have some link or connection with the state where the state could require you to collect its taxes. We call this connection, this link, nexus. So if you've heard this term nexus that people seem to throw about, it's just a real simple or a fancy way of saying link or connection. This link or connection can either be physical. You may have employees in a state. You may have inventory in a state. You may have people traveling into a state. But there are lots of different ways. One of the ways that trip up some of our clients is third parties. Most people don't realize that third parties, anyone who's helping you to establish or maintain a market, can actually create nexus for you. So lots and lots of different ways to create this physical link. But because of the Wayfair case, we now have what we call an economic nexus. And an economic nexus doesn't override a physical nexus. It's actually the other way around. But an economic nexus means that a certain number of sales or a certain number of transactions into a state, if you cross those thresholds, then that can create this link or connection. So common economic nexus thresholds are $100,000 or 200 transactions. So if you cross either one of those in a state, and each state has different rules, but those are the most frequent, then that can create this link or connection. So that's the first thing we have to look at. Do you have nexus, either physical or economic, which creates this link or connection? If you don't have any links or connections with a state, then the state can't require you to do anything, and you don't have to worry about registering to collect sales tax. But if you do have this link or connection, the next thing we need to look at is what you sell taxable. Now, a lot of people, even a lot of accountants out there tell me, well, my clients all sell services, so I don't have to worry about any of this. And unfortunately, more and more states are taxing more and more services. And I don't know of a state out there that doesn't tax at least some services. Now, in general, the general rule is that services are exempt unless they're specifically identified, but there are a lot of services that are identified by the state. So, the first thing is, do you have a link or connection with the state? The second is what you're selling taxable? Don't make assumptions. If you don't know if it's taxable or not, reach out to someone like us, and we can help you get those questions answered. We can also help you determine whether or not you have this link or connection. All right, so that's steps 1 and 2. The third one is it material? Is your potential exposure material? Now, the states don't say that. That's what I say. For example, maybe you're selling a $5 item and you sell 200 of them and you're now over that economic threshold. Well, that's $1,000 in sales. If that's the only sales you have in that state for the entire year, the tax on that is going to be somewhere between $60 and $80, depending on the state. The cost of compliance, whether you're doing it yourself or whether you're hiring someone like us, it's going to be a lot more than that. So even though the state says you should be doing that, I say we have to use common sense. If the cost of compliance is going to exceed the amount of money, let the state come looking for you. If it's going to exceed the back tax plus penalty plus interest, why do what the state says? Just because the state says to do it doesn't mean that it makes good business sense. So we've got to use some common sense when we're looking at this. And if your exposure is material, by all means, I think that you should get registered right away. However, if it's not material, wait till it does become material. The fourth thing we need to look at and I hear a lot of misinformation on this one out there right now, is you've got to be responsible for collecting the tax. And nowadays with the marketplaces, so many sellers are selling only on a platform like Amazon or eBay or Etsy, or maybe a combination of them, but they're still all considered marketplaces. And at this point, there are 42 states that have said the marketplaces are responsible for collecting and remitting that tax, not the third-party seller. So if you're a third-party seller and you're only selling on marketplaces, whether the marketplace is fulfilling or whether you're self-fulfilling, then you don't have any responsibility to collect or remit tax. So therefore, no reason to get registered. If you're already registered, then it's time to start thinking about getting deregistered. We have lots of Amazon clients and eBay clients who are coming to us to get deregistered at this point. They no longer have a sales tax collection responsibility. So once again, if you anywhere that you have a link or connection with the state, so that's anywhere you have nexus, and what you sell is taxable, and your exposure is material, and you're the one who's actually supposed to collect and remit it, then you should go ahead and get registered. Again, if you need help figuring out any one of these 4 items, just give us a call, or contact us through our website. It's www.salestaxandmore.com, or you can reach out by email at contact@salestaxandmore.com. I hope this has been helpful. Look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.